which items they're going to be getting and what breadcrumbs they're going to get for their next progression item. So with all that being said, I would like to hand it over to Space Cowboy.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it may be. I'm Space Cowboy 2011, and the race is getting underway. Immediately at the start of Link's house, we have the key to Misery Mire and the Moon Pearl and Sanctuary, a very handy item to have, one of 3 required for the Dark World access. To briefly cover on tracking today, we have Muvelindrome and Sinhei. Tracking Keysanity is quite fun because, as B has mentioned, keys, maps, and compasses have all been removed from their respective dungeons and thrown into the overworld as well. On the tracker, you'll be seeing, as they discover them, crystals and pendants will be appearing, as well as key counts and the big keys, since some dungeons require them. Immediately off the start, we have Wulfy setting up the Houlihan room, and the runners starting the initial item crawl.
Looks like xirtanul is also doing our Houlihan room.
Yep, that he is. Ooh, we have the Ether Medallion right away from the Uncle on Ace's screen. Our 4 runners today, in the top left-hand side in green, we have Wulfy, who is racing against xirtanul in the top right in red. In the bottom left is AceZer in blue, facing off against Samura1man on the bottom right in yellow. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. We'll answer them to the best we can. Wulfy is setting up for bombs, whereas xirtanul is putting that Houlihan money to use, buying them immediately. The initial route is generally always the same. You'll see all the runners gravitate towards Kakariko Village due to the high volume of items located within. Yep, and as we're seeing, we have early bow, which is phenomenal for our runners, given that they have the standard open mode, meaning they start without a sword. So we already have a first weapon, now they just need to find arrows.
Yeah, you hardly ever see the bow so early. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's usually, here's some silvers, about 15 minutes in, you'll see the bow another hour and a half later. So that's good for them. Wow, power gloves as well. We have power gloves and Moon Pearl ready.
Yeah, all that we're missing is hammer, and we'd have Dark World access.
So, down on the bottom right-hand side, Samura1man has found a map to Desert Palace. The interesting thing about the maps is they are useful. They provide information on the dungeon on the map screen as to what is located within said dungeon. So, we will be seeing some runners going out of the way to pick up maps when normally.
Oh, and there's the hammer.
We have Dark World access 3 minutes into the run. Wow. And we already have 2 maps that are useful, Pod and Desert. Interesting.
Yeah, they may not want to go to the Dark World right away with only 3 hearts.
That would be a gamble. xirtanul looks like has foregone going to Kakariko for the moment, as he's clearing out the South Shore. And Wulfy picked up the powder from the merchant.
So much right out of here. There's so much value here. It's amazing. Now, I did notice Lumberjack Cave had a key on it, so it's hard to know which key that is until we find out if we actually need it. So they might have to go up the tower to defeat Aghanim 1.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that the small key to Swamp Palace in the Chicken Hut already? I'll have to double check that.
It probably was, yep. Trust your eyes.
There are a few items in terms, early Swamp Key. In terms of small keys, you have no idea what they are until you pick it up. So a few keys are utterly useless. Skull Woods, once you have 1, you can clear it easily. Technically, you can clear without. You generally don't need any keys for Misery Mire to clear the dungeon. The keys you're looking out for are Pod, Turtle Rock, and especially Desert and Swamp. Swamp more so because it unlocks the entire dungeon. So to find that early, Dark World access early, we also already have maps for Hera and Desert. So once one of our runners with both maps check, we already get some very crucial information out of them.
Yeah, and once they head over to Sahazrala in the eastern part of the map, we'll be able to tell what the green pendant is as well. So we could potentially find out 3 dungeons.
Yeah, this early, I mean, obviously it's way too early to say much, but this early start is very strong. You have the bow, you have the Dark World access already. You have a lot more information than you normally would in terms of Crystal's pendants, once we see a map check anyway. Okay, it looks like Wolfie's finished up his Kakariko check and is headed to the dam in South Shore now. Or, no, he may be going straight for Hype Cave. He has that hammer out.
Well, let's see what we have in Hype Cave. See if it's actually living up to its name today.
Yeah, the latest version has been a bit more of a mix. Sometimes you'll pull out 3 or 4 required items. Other times, it'll just be a bust. So it's not a bad play to go ahead. Actually... Oh, that's a sprite. I'm looking at Wolfie. He has the bunny as the sprite, which means Link would be his Dark World equivalent, I believe it is.
That was the big key of Tower of Hera.
Wow, yeah, that's very nice, depending on what Hera is. And
Samurai is checking out the village right now, Village of Outcasts in the Dark World. So let's see what Thieves Town has in store.
He is wasting no time at all whatsoever.
He's following those breadcrumbs like I was saying earlier.
Yeah. Gears Fun, Pendant, or Crystals 5 and 6 are Swamp Palace and Misery Mire. So,
Good
Misery
knowledge
Mire.
for sure.
Yeah, Misery Mire is required, which means we will need to see the flute, Kana Samara at some point, as well as some medallions.
Yeah, we won't know what medallion that is until we get the flute and the second lift upgrade.
Yep. And of course, we will also need to find the Misery Mire big key at some point. And there's a bottle on Wolfie's screen.
Yep, so we have a bottle now, and so he'll be able to get that turned in to see what our sick kid has.
Oh, one of the few useless maps, Hyrule Castle, on Samurai screen in Thieves Town.
No, I don't know if that was an intentional death or not. Did he get all 4 of those chests?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so that was intentional for sure.
Let's see what's buried in the dirt on Wolfie's screen.
Let's see how many digs he gets to do this time around.
Well, there's 15 so far.
Key to Misery Mire in the C-shaped house.
There we go. It's 21 digs for all of 20 rupees. For those asking about Wolfie's timer, he may not have one, or he may have moved it on the screen capture. Either way, we have 3 more timers on the screen to take a gander at. So far, Village of Outcasts is turning up Lumpkiss, and still haven't seen a map check, so we don't know what pod is. I believe Samurai has picked that map up, though.
And Wolfie's checking the escape area.
Yep, good idea. Ace started with the hammer, realized how much of the pain that was, and he's actually
And that was the hook shot.
Wow. Well, there's one of your items that you need for Swamp Out the Way. Ace had a relatively nice mini Moldorm cave once he pulled out the bow.
xirtanul just found the mirror, so that's going to make things a lot easier going back and forth.
Yeah, Skull Woods is still sometimes loaded. So mirror will give xirtanul the slight advantage being able to check a few other spots. So definitely an interesting mix of items that we're seeing open up already, though. Key-wise, outside of the big key to Hera and the small key to Swamp, there hasn't been too exciting so far.
Sick kid just giving away his poisoned blueberries that made him sick in the first place.
Compass again, yep. And Ace picks up his hook shot and the rather useless Compass to GT. So, for those of you unfamiliar with Keysanity, the compass, when you are in that dungeon, will reveal the amount of items within it and the amount that you have opened. So it gives you an idea of how many items are left within. Generally, you do not want to have to be worried about how many items are left within GT, because whenever you enter, you hope you have the big key already. Ooh, Magic Bat, Balmos, and Skull Woods.
Magic Bat giving away a heart container. That's good.
Yeah, that's kind of important. We see our runners, they literally have found, I think, 2 pieces of heart in Samurai's case in the Village of Outcasts. Other than that, that's not much health for him yet.
Now, I just saw Sahazrala just said that his green pendant is actually in Eastern Palace today again.
Hey, vanilla green pendant.
And Pyramid Ledge check. Oh, that's a lantern.
Lantern's one of those wonderful key items that isn't always required, but dang, is it useful. So, Samurai is finally getting around to Link's house at 12 minutes in, whereas Ace is stepping into Eastern Palace. He has the knowledge it's a green pendant, but without the big key, you still have access to 4 items, although one is technically lamp locked. But it is arguably one of the easiest dark rooms in the game, so most runners, once they get a little bit comfortable, will go back there and check it. So,
yeah, that dark room isn't too bad. Although if he doesn't have a sword, that might be a little difficult to navigate. But hookshot is okay to navigate with as well, too.
Oh yeah, hookshot and the bow both can be used to navigate. Though if you run out of arrows, it's a lot easier to use the bow because it still does the shooting sprite without actually shooting anything. Skullwood's compass. Yeah, I see in chat, you always need a fire source for Ganon, yes. But there are runs possible where the fire rod will get you through everything without ever needing to pick up the lamp. Although most people who are in their right mind would never skip the lamp if they saw it. Samurai dropping as Wulfy is setting up the bomb jump in Skull Woods because he has the key and decides he's going to go in the back instead.
Some of these bomb jumps, they're not too bad either. Oh, we took a death, though. That's unfortunate.
Yep, however, I believe he exited and re-entered, so he's going to immediately pop right back in that room.
Yeah, I think he probably realized that there was a strong chance of falling, so that was a good safety on his part.
Yeah, and Samurai's getting his hook shot as Wulfy gets the bombos, and Ace is heading into that dark room using the hammer, it looks like.
So let's see what we have so far on the screen. If they wanted to, they could full clear well, I guess they can't really full clear too much right now without keys. But if they didn't have to worry about keys, they could go all the way through Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace, which is almost unheard of because having the bow so early is a little wild. Usually, you don't see the bow so quickly.
Very true. Pod, they have only found one small key so far. So the only real utility, if they were to utilize the bow and hammer, they could unlock access to, I believe it is 4 or 5 chests, I want to say. But they have to go both sides to skip that first locked door.
Yeah, they'd have to keep going. Sorry.
No. An interesting thing to note is with the mirror, gloves, and lantern, Hera, with its big key that Wulfy has found, is on the board.
Ooh,
he just has to make his way to Pyramid.
Now, we don't have information about what Hera is at this point, though. Nobody seems to have done a map check.
Very true. And Ace is going up to Death Mountain without the lamp anyway. With the hookshot and hammer available to him, he can go around the right side and check everything anyway. And Afrohawk, I don't believe Samurai has picked up the big key for Hera just yet. So unfortunately, while he has the ability to wrap all the way around, he won't be able to actually complete it.
Ooh, there's our first sword. That I'm sure he's happy to see that.
Oh yeah.
Spectacle Cave, yeah.
Yep. So the first sword appears to be locked behind Dark World access since the lamp was on Pyramid. Fun stuff.
Unless there was a sword somewhere else that is not necessarily locked, we just haven't seen it. Like possibly Zora might have it.
Yeah, there's not too many locations. It could be Zora, it could be Agena, but a lot between these runners, a lot of the overworld has been checked at this point. So it is looking quite likely that first sword is Dark World locked by logic. And there was a question in chat from Thalfon. It is possible that you can enter Ganon's tower without a fire source if the lamp is hidden somewhere out the way and you opt to do dark rooms in a few dungeons, yes.
All right, let's see what we have up in our mountain hype cave.
It's kind of nice, though. All 4 runners are taking widely divergent paths. Well, that's a lot of money.
Lots of Zora money.
Yep, puts well over 500. Could head that way if Samurai so chose. This is the one I want to see. This cave has been phenomenal in a few times and heartbreaking in others.
Well, it's not necessarily heartbreaking because there's a heart in it.
Ooh, what's this? Turtle Rock Small Key.
Now, that was the second Turtle Rock Small Key that I've seen. I don't know if Samurai has gotten both of those yet, but so we know where 2 is.
Yep, I am relying on our wonderful trackers today, so I will go by the fact that there is a 1 there and say that he is not. Samurai's route was a little bit different than a lot of the others because of his quick dip into the Dark World like he did. So he has not quite checked as much as everyone else. Or at least in terms of the Light World. So, Xirtanul's heading over towards the Pyramid. We'll be finding the lamp, and that will be a nice indicator of, hey, maybe you should try out Death Mountain. He does have the Hera Big Key, and he's going to make me eat my words and head towards Pod instead.
Sometimes it's really hard to tell what people are going to do.
Oh, yeah.
We got a Graveyard Ledge check over on Wulfy's screen, so let's see if there's anything new here.
Yep. Plus Ace is heading into his cave, so he'll get his 1 T-Rock key. Nice bomb usage there, too.
And Samurai is dipping into...
Ooh! Boots!
Oh,
Graveyard
yes.
Ledge.
So that means they can get that lift upgrade that's in the library.
Yep. So Titan's mitts are now there. I believe most of the game is now available to these runners with that combination of items. 20 minutes in, almost anything is on the board overworld-wise. Definitely, I don't think we're going to be seeing these runners line up too much as they continue through this seed.
Yeah, there's been such a divergence.
Honestly, I think seeds that allow the divergence, I can't speak apparently, are some of the better ones, because rather than, okay, they have to go here, and then there, it's where are they going to go? Meanwhile, Samurai did have the Hera Big Key as he is upstairs and is clearing out and realizes, yeah, you're going to have to fall down there and just the one floor, that's right.
So I just saw a map check on Ace's screen, and Tower of Hera and Desert Palace are both crystal dungeons. So those are they're gonna be completed soon.
Phenomenal. So we already have 4 crystal dungeons and 1 pendant. That means we're not quite sure where the other 2 are, but we know they're Dark World. Ooh, shovel out of Spiral Cave. Fetch quest, please. And rather unusual for a Keysanity, we're going to see our first dungeon clear at 2150. First crystal on the map for Samura1man.
And it looks like Wolfie got flippers.
Yeah, Wolfie did indeed pick them up. I'm not 100% certain where. I was looking at Samurai there, but did pick up flippers. And as expected, hello, Titan's mitts.
Where do you suspect Wolfie will go now?
That is a hard thing to do. Let's see, because he just has so much. I love how Senhei in chat immediately throws out Ice Palace. Oh, Flippers was boot locked in either Bonk Rocks or King's Tomb. Bonk Rocks. So, Flippers open up some stuff. That's for certain. We have Ace pretty much following in Samurai's footsteps roughly. Looks like he did not have Hera Big Key. And so we will not be seeing that dungeon out of him.
It didn't look like there was much for him to grab anyway, other than the crystal, so he's not too disadvantaged. Wolfie picking up the old man and checking out some of the caves. Gonna pick up his first... Oh, maybe not the sword. Never mind. Oh, there's the sword that Wulfy's gonna pick up. My brain had a bit of a moment there.
Yeah, Wulfy, item-wise, is really well set now, having, that early Graveyard Ledge check, opening up the boots, which then revealed the flippers and the Titan's mitts. He has a lot of utility. Still needs to head over to the pyramid at some point. But all of our runners are definitely doing a pretty good job.
So it looks like Wulfy is gonna head in to Tower of Hera now. So he has the big key, so he'll be able to full clear other than the basement. Unfortunately, he won't be able to get what's in the basement. But nobody really likes going in the basement anyway because of the tiles. It takes quite a bit of time to go through those tiles.
Yep, we'll have to see. Thankfully, the small key is not available. But it's always somewhat annoying when a crucial item is hidden inside that basement. I mean, it makes a nice break time, though.
Yeah, I can't see our runners going back to that location unless absolutely necessary at this point. Samurai picking up his ether from his uncle. That's a good inheritance right there.
Oh, yeah. So, we have ether, we have Bonos. We know Meyer is a crystal, and not sure about Turtle Rock, but 2 out of 3. I like those odds so far.
Yeah, there's a pretty decent chance that they will be able to open up those dungeons if they need to. Want to take a moment to thank our trackers, Muvel and Drone and Cine. It's a really difficult thing to not only track all these racers, but also keep track of all the keys as well. So thank you so much for all the hard work that you're doing behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. I will second that. Tracking Keysanity is about half as difficult as actually running them. There are a lot of things, mostly because the keys have been added into the mix. And just to let y'all know, xirtanul is currently experiencing some technical difficulties, but the race shall continue.
Ooh, Bombos on Turtle Rock.
Hey, look, they have that medallion. And smart of Wulfy to go ahead and crack it open while he's there.
Yep.
Without Canna Samara, can't access anything at all. But still a good move to open it up, even if you're not sure if you'll need it later. I believe it's 13 seconds all told.
Let's see if Hookshot Cave has any value.
It's always nice whenever you can head up this way and clear everything out and not have to wonder, do I need to come back here? Map to Skull Woods, which is an unknown dungeon, so there's some value, I'd say.
And the map of Misery Mire. So we're starting to see a lot more maps. This is great.
Yep, Meyer unfortunately really isn't needed since the pawn shop told us, hey, get the crystal. But
and
we see
it's crystal.
Pod
Crystal and Skullwoods.
and Skullwoods both, yeah. So Pod and Skullwoods are 2 more crystals revealed, which brings us to a total of, after a little bit of quick math, 6 crystals Thieves Town, Ice Palace, or Turtle Rock. One of those will be a crystal, the other two will be pendants. So, hopefully Thieves Town is their final crystal. That would probably be nice to these runners.
Now the question is, are they going to get maps for those locations, or are they going to have to dig in and hope for the best and just blind finish those dungeons and hope that they're a crystal?
Well, luckily for them at this point in time, it doesn't really matter because they have no ability to clear in. As they progress further,
And here we have a check of Agana's cave. Heart container, not bad. Let's see what's in our dig spot. Just a 20.
yep, no fetch quest chains or trolls. Just a little bit of money. I mean, he's a young kid. He plays the flute. He's got to save up every little rupee he earns, right?
Ace getting knowledge from the bomb guy.
Yep, that is a nice thing about Keysanity is you're guaranteed to know 3 dungeons without needing to pick up their maps. Every seed without fail. Still leaves, another 7 to try to figure out. But information is just as important as the items. So now we're starting to see a little bit of retreads on all 3 runner screens. Samurai is headed to the eastern. Still no big key. Lantern, so he will be going all the way. We have Wulfy finally doing the dam in South Shore. And Ace is doing some Dark World overworld checks.
Yep, so some people are going to start getting some of the same items, so people are starting to catch up to each other, so that's good to see. I always like to see the close races when at the very end of the game, they're both entering Ganon's tower at the same time.
The lovely Ice Rod Cave, except even though he's still in Green Tunic, he has 9 hearts. I don't think crabs are much of an issue at this point. And Ace is, I was going to say getting the lantern, but it looks like instead going to do escape first.
I think he did pick up his lantern.
Okay, gotcha. And just an update on xirtanul, ladies and gentlemen. Due to technical difficulties with his computer, he is not going to be returning to us this stream.
Sorry to hear about that, xirtanul. Now, the other thing is I saw Ace pretty early in the game pick up a blue mail, and I can't remember off the top of my head where that was.
If Ace has picked up blue mail, I'll be honest and say that I did not catch it either.
I saw it,
Yep,
but
there
then
it is.
I totally forgot where exactly it was.
I suppose we'll be having to keep an eye out on the other two runners to see where they pick it up. So, Ace
Unless they were sneaky and also picked it up. Samurai also has it too.
Yep, Ace has the map to Thieves Town, one of our 3 still unknown dungeons, so that may just reveal the rest of them.
Ooh.
So this is a lot of information for a Keysanity seed in terms of crystals and pendants. 35 and a half minutes in now, and we almost have all the dungeons known. And
someone is asking if we're close to the end of the route. There's still quite a few items that we're missing. We still need to find our 2 rods, the fire rod and ice rod. We also need to find the flute. We haven't seen that yet. And we need at least 1 more sword upgrade.
I like Cronus's reply, somewhere between the beginning and Ganon.
We're not exactly sure how close we are. I don't know if we found the big key to Ganon's tower either, so that could be anywhere in the world as well.
Nope, GT Big Key is still definitely outstanding. Ace is checking a location I don't think we've seen anybody check yet. The sewers chest, kind of out the way, sandwiched between value on both sides.
And Samurai passed by the floating islands there. Not the floating island, the water island there that you need the mirror. And there's silvers there.
Ooh, silvers on Hylia Island. That's actually not too far out of the way to pick up, too. Since Swamp Palace is required, they could pick it up. And that's the flute in the sewers.
Awesome.
So we now have access to the Mire area. Ace has not picked up his boots, but he does have the hook shot. We are still short the Cane of Samara. But Mire and therefore Desert as well is now accessible to at least to Ace. On Oogblad, in terms of dungeons, the only ones that we're not certain of are Turtle Rock, Thieves Town, and Ice Palace. And of those, 1 is a crystal, 2 of them are pendants. Hey, Desert Palace Big Key in the Waterfall Fairy Cave. So with the combined knowledge, we now know Desert will be completable eventually. Wulfy is... Looks like Wulfy's going to put that Swamp Palace small key to use and do a relatively early Swamp Palace dip.
Probably a good move on his part.
Yep. As Ace is pulling out the flute, you can't quite activate it with the shovel there, but
we can certainly try.
Yep. And we have a big key on Zora Ledge. Samurai does not have the flippers yet because he does not have the boots. So, definitely interesting that the boots have locked a couple of key items now, but Zora will give you the cape.
Yes, so that means they could check the first chest in Aghanim's tower.
Someone mentioned pedestal. The pedestal could theoretically still be alive. However, we don't know what the other 2 pendant dungeons are. If it's Turtle Rock as a pendant, the pedestal is pretty much dead. If Turtle Rock is a crystal, then it could still be alive. That is the big deciding factor for pedestal this time. So let's see if Wulfy's Swamp Gambit pays out for him. As Ace puts the flute to use, interestingly enough, is not going... Oh, that's right. Ace does not have the mitts yet, so he can't check out the mire area just yet. So nice setup for the fake flippers. As Samurai is checking the castle tower without one small key, so here's his one and only item check. Piece of heart. Rip.
Just a teeny tiny little heart.
Yep, a little bit of love, but it's not going to get you much anything else. Okay, Ace is going to be happy with this fake flipper here, I believe. And yeah, get him the desert key. And with the flute and the mirror, just need to find the boot still. But
Wulfy just found the big key to Eastern Palace in Swamp Palace there, so that's a good find.
Yep, green pendant is now an option. And fun thing to note, if you are in Swamp Palace, every sword will hit that switch from the other side except the fighter sword. Ace being real careful with that water walk, not wanting to get hit.
Yeah, in case anyone is wondering how the fake flippers works, if you have the fake flippers and you go into the cave and leave again, the game thinks that you're walking on the water, and if you get hit, you end up falling into the water and you get stuck because the game doesn't really know where to put you, and so then it just automatically kills you. Doesn't matter how many hearts you have, you're still gonna have to reset the game.
It is now confirmed. Turtle Rock, pendant. Ice Palace, pendant. Thieves Town, 7th crystal.
Ah, yes.
Just had a map check on Ace's screen on,
good.
while you were chatting there. So we have all of our dungeon information. So they have 2 small keys to Turtle Rock, but they may not need to go into it. We'll have to see. So that is very handy knowledge to have for Ace. At 40 minutes in, I believe he is aware of every dungeon requirement now. So Samurai is finally making to Skull Woods, picked up his mirror. I'm sure he's happy and annoyed to see that already, since he's done some of the overworld checks. As Ace is clearing out Hera for their first crystal. And Wulfy has cleared out left side without too much of note. And there's Bombos for Samurai, which is Turtle Rock access. If we're lucky, these runners won't have to step inside, though. Looks like an intentional death abuse for health refill, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely a good strategy.
Can keys be on the pedestal? Yes, they can, and they often will be. Let's just take a quick look here. In terms of what we, the audience, are aware of, we still need the big key for pod. We need more small keys for it. We're going to need the big key for Thieves Town at some point, and for Mire. And we will need the Fire Rod at some point, and Cana Samara. Everything else we've seen.
Let's see if Argus has anything of value for us today.
Yep, Samurai gets a bit more info from his map check. And since Fighter Sword, we get to see the lovely hook spin rather than the hook hammer strat to avoid a lot of menu time. Ace gets his first crystal out of Hera. So all 3 runners have now completed Hera at this point. And so far, it's been a relatively besides that spot there. Ooh, Wolfie's down to 1 heart now, though. Out comes a blue potion. Ace. Bold move. He has 6 hearts, or 7, excuse me, I can't count. Cape, and I believe he has a blue potion. But, ooh, there's a bit of a cooldown on the cape. Okay, he managed to make it just in time, though. Very tight window here, though.
Yes, but he made it. Oh,
Ooh.
oh, that was good.
And
That
he
was
gets
a
a
sanctuary heart.
Yep. And Wolfie is liberally applying fire to Argus's face and gets 20 rupees for his difficulties. So that is a second dungeon cleared for Wolfie.
Oh man, I totally missed the fire rod. I'm assuming that was in Swamp Palace.
Yes, he did pull it out of Swamp. I don't remember which chest, but the fire rod's located in Swamp Palace, which is one of the items that we still needed to find, which is one step closer to knowing where everything is. Fantastic. The fire rod was left side swamp, by the way. So left side hiding the goodies. Let's see. Wolfie is finally doing a pyramid check. We'll get his lamp, which for him is one step closer. Still needs to go back and check the sewers. Let's hope he remembers to do so at this point, since he's conveniently here and has a mirror. Come on, Wolfie. Hey, that's what I want to see. Samurai is perhaps towards the dig game, whereas Ace is headed into the dark world south of Link's house.
Wolfie gonna pick up his ether from his uncle.
Yep. Only took him 47 minutes to visit the poor, injured old man. So with 20-something digs, Samurai sees the 20, pieces out. And here we go. Wolfie's headed towards his flute. So, inching ever closer towards everything he needs.
Now the question is, where is Samaria hiding?
That is a very good question. Where would you like to see Samaria, I think, is a better question.
Is there still a possibility that it could be on pedestal? Because if
Nope.
so...
Turtle Rock is a pendant. Pedestal is dead, barring keys.
right, because it's a pendant. Yes.
Yep. Pedestal Dream is pretty much dead, besides a potential key that would be required, which in this case would be a big key to one of our required crystal dungeons.
Well, there is still that key on the lumberjack ledge, so that could potentially be a required key.
Oh yeah, gotta love it whenever you're forced to do AGA 1 for something that you kind of need, but you really don't want to do AGA.
So let's say maybe that key is actually our key that we need to get into Desert Palace, and it is through the door on the right-hand side.
Yep.
In one of those 2 chests.
Yeah, Wolfie's making short work of the castle escape section here, going down towards Zelda's cell. Ace is headed into Village of Outcasts, and Samurai is headed back into the Dark World south of Link's house. Yep. Boots were at the Graveyard Ledge, and the boots are locking both the Titan's Mitts and the flippers that we know of. So needless to say, they are quite important this seed.
And it looks like Wulfy is our only runner that currently has the boots.
Oh yeah, it's very hard to say, who is lead, but at this point in time of the three, Wulfy definitely has the advantage with those boots and extra items just because the Titan's mitts are so useful. Oh, nice mirror there, right onto the ledge. So Ace is doing a front half of Thieves Town check, even though there's no big key yet. Always a smart idea. It's a quick 4 checks. Puts you in a loop if you don't have the mirror. If you do, just pop and exit right back out. And we're seeing our first pod dip. I believe Samurai has either 1 or 2 small keys for the dungeon. 2 have been found thus far of the 6. And yeah, he just has the 1 key, so he's going to have a very limited amount of items to check. And it'll take him a few minutes to do so. Especially without the boots. Nope.
No value there.
Yep, vampire skewers, as they're sometimes referred to. Doesn't even have the silvers to make the most use out of it. So Ace has, his 10 containers now after the magic bat check. Wulfy has his 10 containers as his Samurai, so finally looking a bit healthy. John, the flute was located in the sewer's dark chest. Neatly tucked away. Wulfy gets his desert big key. Now, Samurai is nearing the 2 chests that are at the end of the bow section. And using his small key, I believe he'll have access to another 3 items. And then he is pretty much done unless he bomb jumps. I'm curious what that big key on the ledge is too. Wulfy is going to let us know here, though, in a minute.
Yeah, I'm excited to find out about that one. That's the wrong cane, Samurai.
Hey, blue cane's blue cane. But also, look where Ace is going. Ace is going to be getting boots here soon.
Ooh, yes. Ace will be happy about that.
Yeah. Has to go all the way through the graveyard the long way around without having access to Titans or boots. But he's going to be happy to see this. And with them hiding all the way out here, you're not going to feel too bad. Big key to Swamp Palace.
Not as exciting as others might have been. However, you never know. The big chest might still have value.
And that big chest is going to hang over his head until he either gets into go mode or has to start clearing for 1 item. That is Keysanity. Yep, he might have to go back to Swamp at some point in the future. He hopes he doesn't.
Samurai just found 2. He just found 2 keys to Palace of Darkness in the dungeon.
That's great. So 2 small keys and pod in there, so we now have 4 small keys, which means if a runner still need the big key, but it is possible if a runner goes that bow side and bomb jump. Samurai doesn't even want to bother with the bomb jump, so into the dark maze he goes.
Wow, so that might trip up some of the other runners because they might be searching for more pod keys before they dip in. This could be a very trolly Palace of Darkness for other people.
Very true. I'm curious as what all they find. Without the big key, he has to already back out. Now, does he go to check the vanilla big key location? Or does he go to check the room south of where he found those keys? As he gets trolled particularly hard there on his way out the room. No, Wulfy's headed towards pod right now.
Oh, good.
Making a pit stop in Saha, though, first. Map of Swamp Palace, but you already know what that is, Samurai. And Samurai has 1 more item he can check. And then he'll have to peace out.
Ace just grabbed his Titan mitts.
Oh, yeah. Ace will grab Titans. If he immediately checks Boot's locations, we'll find Flipper.
Ooh, there's our Master Sword. That was a good decision on Samurai's part there.
Yep. Finally, we see a second sword in the game. And he is done with the dungeon for now. What is nice is that location of the Master Sword. It's pretty much guaranteed everywhere to check. And Wulfy is into pod with his 2 small keys, which means he will be able to check every item location if he uses them all. And I'm curious to see if he decides to hammer jump. It is a difficult looking trick, but it is deceptively easy with the proper cues. I love it. There is a discussion in the comments right now about whether or not a seed could ever be lampless by logic. And the short answer to that is nope. Lamp is always required by logic.
Yeah, you'll never have to go through any of the dark rooms. The game will never force you to do that. However, there are some runners that are able to.
Yep, but there are 4 dungeons with dark rooms within them, I believe. So the lamp is always required by logic. Eastern Pod, Mire, and Turtle. So, looks like Ace is headed towards... Where are you going, Ace? Nice little hammer dash there. Heading south. Okay, it looks like with Flippers in tow, Ace is also make the play. As long as they go left side, they'll come out of it with the Fire Rod and a Crystal.
Yeah, Ace will be happy about that.
Yep.
Now, who was it? Wulfy and I found the big key to Swamp Palace. Looks like nobody else has yet. So we still can't see what's in the chest.
Yep, I believe Ace did pick up the big key first prior to coming in here. On Zora Ledge, and then saved and quit and headed in this direction. So we will get to see shortly whether it's required or not. Wulfy is...
He's going to try the bomb jump, yep.
Nope, he just didn't want to get trolled by the mini Helmosaur. It is very easy to have that one knock you off the bridge. So... And that Lawson, I see you mentioning there in chat what Wulfy may do next. But remember, he has access to fully cleared desert. He has the flute. He has access to the mire area. There's just so much stuff to do. I'm honestly not positive why he came to pod first. But it's not a bad play because there's so many items within the mission. Gets the map to Swamp Palace. Comes back around this way and back left. Is he going for the jump? I think he's going to try for it. Yep. So with this done, with the way Wulfy has set it up, he won't be able to check this chest. He failed it though. If Wulfy can make this jump, he can potentially complete the dungeon once he finds the big key. Though he'd have to do it again if he wanted to check this chest. There you go, second try. Bomb jump.
Yeah, good bomb jumping.
Leave us a container and not much else, fortunately. So Some money, but I believe he is used up all of his needs for money at this point. We're gonna swamp big. It's just a compass to swamp. So Wolfie will not be required to revisit. Whether or not he knows that, we'll see later. There we go. Samurai gets his flippers. And is headed this direction, presumably to pick up his Titans. So, some crucial item pickups. And Ace is headed left side, so Ace will be getting the fire rod shortly. And Wolfie is headed back, presumably to check the vanilla big key location and the drop down too. Nice little dash bonk to get across. So Wolfie has preserved his keys in such a way that whenever he the big key to pod, he will pretty much be able to clear it. He still has the big chest that he'll have to do the hammer jump to again, but let's see. And Samurai appears to be joining Ace inside the Swamp Palace dive. And Wolfie is back into Eastern. He has the big key. It's a green pendant. Saha's right there. It's a 2-item check on top of things. Oh, never mind. It's an entire dungeon check on top of things for Wolfie, as it's his first and will be his only visit.
That's good routing on Wolfie's part, for sure.
Oh yeah, especially with how open the sea is. Definitely nice to only have to dip into a dungeon once.
Indeed.
So, plus boot, hook shot, relatively quick clear, even though it's a full one. Okay. Ace has to be a little bit careful, he's low on health, but Swamp isn't really all that dangerous past this point. Lord Sicarius, Keysanity is your standard randomizer, except the small keys, map, and compasses have been added to the item pool around the world. You do not know what's crystal, what's pendant. The music will not tell you. You have to find the maps in order to determine what the dungeon contains. So Ace picks up his Thieves' Town small key and heads towards the last item and Arcus. Get a chance to pick up 2 more hearts, but he's going to have to be careful. Ooh. And yes, JTN, the shuffle was found, and it led to a big fat 20 rupees. Not a whole lot of value. Oh, there's your blue tunic. B-Links. So
where was it? In Eastern?
Yep, it was hiding past the dark rooms in Eastern Palace and Vanilla Big Key Chest location. So we have A0 pulling out the camera strats on Arcus. A lot of menuing involved. It can eat up a fair bit of time, but it guarantees 1 hit, 1 kill, puff. So, and Wolfie is continuing on with Eastern. Maybe it pays off. We'll have to see.
Well, it's at least 1 extra crystal for him, especially for the Pyramid Fairy.
Eastern is the green pendant, so I mean, we'll see with the Saha check and what
Oh,
Armos
right,
drops.
yes. I see the red and assume that it's red. Yes, you're right. It's a pendant.
Yep, almost a very clean, quick kill. The Armos Knight actually went red on him instead of dying there. Missed it by a small margin. Ace is struggling to land the fire rod shots. And then out comes... Ooh. And there's the fire rod for Samura. Ooh, big key, 2. Ice Palace. Womp womp. Big key, but not the one he wanted to see. Hello, where are you? Wulfy is headed into Ice Palace. You have desert access, Wulfy. Why ice? It's a pendant. Well, that lost it. You were right. Wulfy picked ice over the fact he still had desert and the mire area to check. Very interesting decision. Meanwhile, Ace. Here we go. Here's a mire area check. Hour 6 in, we finally get to see that place.
And I still couldn't see it.
I missed the medallion as well. We'll see it a bit more clearer, I'm sure. But, let's see here. Mire Shed, small key to pod, and the bug net. Nope, just bombs on Checkerboard Cave. As Wulfy is approaching the infamous Ice Palace bomb jump location. And Ice Palace is fully clearable for him, whether he chooses to or not. Since he's in here, I'm assuming he will full clear the place. Nope, one try. Doesn't quite work out.
Yeah, so that's another bomb jump that a lot of people like to do, so they don't necessarily need as many keys or big key to get through the rest of the dungeon.
There we go, third try's the charm. And on AceZero's screen, there was a map on Desert Ledge for Eastern Palace.
Not necessarily useful at this point.
Nope, I'm not 100% positive if all of our runners are fully aware of the Crystal and Pendant dungeon locations, due to each taking vastly different routes. But hey, Ice Palace map on Ace. So Desert is full of paper. I suppose if you need, place to store things.
Is it
Hot,
burritos?
okay. Yeah.
Big
and
key?
Hey. Is this?
Thieves Town.
Hey, it's Thieves
They can go
Town.
deeper. Yeah, that's good.
Thieves Town is clearable. Some people do have the small key as well. So we now know where everything for it's located. And Wulfy got another Palace of Darkness small key out of Ice Palace. Not that he actually truly needs it, but now he doesn't have to worry about going the bow side next time he re-enters. So, and Samurai is joining Wulfy inside of Ice, and another big key for Mire from Wulfy. That is another required big key. Wulfy is a Thieves' Town key and a pod key away from Go Mode, I believe, having picked up the Meyer big key. So we really only need to find out, where is that pod big key located?
And Samaria as well.
That's right, Samaria, the dreaded red cane.
There's our
Ooh.
third sword upgrade. So Wolfie now has the Dorito sword.
Tempered sword is where you really don't need another sword upgrade. It's nice, but not really required. And Ace is Fire Rotting Landmolus. Was Fire Rotting Landmolus. Pulling out the bow and MG strats on it now. So Ice definitely has value in it.
Oh, there's our Castle Tower small key.
Yep, that allows the second chest within Castle Tower to be checked. And that is the third crystal now for AceZer, who pulls ahead in crystal count for the moment. But we are remarkably close to having commentary knowledge where everything requires this run slow. Wolfie pulling out the bombos on Cold Stare. I don't blame him. Although with Tempered, he may be able to kill all the puffs without even needing the fire. There. One got away, but very clean Ice Palace from Wolfie. And wraps it up with another small key to Skullwoods. Quite useless. Gets the pendant for his trouble. Maybe now Wolfie will head over to the desert location.
Oh, he hasn't checked under the bridge yet.
Well, he sees the Silver Soul on Hylia Island, and yeah, he's headed over towards Hobo. When Ace was in the Meyer area, did you see what medallion was required?
No.
I don't think he strayed far enough to actually look.
He might have seen it on his screen, but unfortunately, we weren't able to catch it.
It's a shame. We'll have to wait a little bit later because Quake may or may not be required, but we're not entirely positive yet. Samurai is performing his last item check in Ice. Ace, Super Bunny Cave. Of course, we have seen the Dark World already, so he picks up his Meyer small key there. Piece of Heart and Hookshot Cave had maps in it, I believe, but nothing of real value. KB_Z. The way you know if an item is required or not is being familiar with the game. In essence, every dungeon requires specific items to get through it, and then you have set items that are required for every run. So once you know what items or what dungeons are your crystals, you then know by that what items you need to get through the game. And Wolfie picked up his silvers on Island, and now we see the Meyer location of Wolfie.
That looked like bombos to me.
Yep. Bombos, so we will not be needing Quake. And I imagine Wolfie will do Desert first, but I wonder if he'll go into Meyer after. Small key to Dark Palace. I remind you of Discovery Channel. Fantastic. Wolfie may not be fully aware of all the dungeon crystal pendants, seeing how he picked up that map there for Eastern.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to blindly defeat the boss and realize at the last minute that, oh, that was a pendant.
Yep, and it looks like we're going to see our first Mothula kill out of Ace's side. He's headed in that direction.
Ooh, excellent.
Samurai gets his Mire key. Wolfie gets his Thieves Town big key, which means all that Wolfie needs is the Canis Samara and the Pod big key, and he is good to go. That's right, GT big key's still in the air. I didn't even think about that. Oh boy.
Yeah. Although at this point, it could potentially be in Ganon's tower itself.
The longer you go through a seed without seeing Ganon's tower big key, the more you start to sweat. Dat lost it. No one has actually gone into Mire. Wolfie is doing Desert first. Samurai makes short work at the Puffs. They kind of got away from him at the end there, but he still got through cleanly. As Ace falls into Mothula's room, the best boss in the game. And he's doing it with the fighter sword.
That's rough. Oh no, he's also doing some hammer strats as well. Good kills.
Almost got the Zero Cycle Land Mollis. Oh! Dark Palace big key off Moth.
Ooh. So now it is completable.
We just need to know where's Ganon's Tower big key and where's the Canis Samara. That's pretty much it.
All of life's questions need to be answered here.
Yep. Scooby-Dee, the silvers were located on Highly in the lake.
Ooh, red mail.
Super duper safe. 11 hearts, red mail. I'd be quite comfortable at that point.
Even with red mail, again in hug is still really painful.
Yeah, you just don't hug him. Sean Ganon, don't hug him.
Just don't do it.
Yeah, Scooby, he really quickly grabbed between swamp and ice. So Samurai has decided to go back to Eastern. So it'll be a real quick trip for him since he has been here before. And Wolfie's getting real healthy now. 13 containers for him.
Yeah, that's great. Now, it looked to me like Wolfie finished off Lamulus with silvers. And I can't remember if Ace picked up silvers from the island as well.
I believe Wolfie is the only individual who has picked them up. If you look at Ace and Samurai's screen, the arrow icons are both still. Wolfie has decided to forego Mire and instead has head to Thieves Town. I can't fault that play.
Yeah, it's definitely some interesting decisions. But it's possible that both of them are trying to see if the cane is in any other dungeon aside from Mire, so they don't have to double dip.
Yep. We are getting questions in chat about pedestal. In order to even check the pedestal, you need the book. Wolfie has cleared 2 of the pendant dungeons, but the third one's Turtle Rock. So we're not going to be seeing that for a while. unless the book just pops up. There we go. Samurai quickly took out Armos Knights to clear Eastern. So at this point in time, it looks like all of our runners, they have so many dungeons open to them. It's a matter of which ones you hit first.
Yeah, it's routing decisions now on everybody's parts. And another thing as well is it's still been a lot of people have done different routing as well.
Yep. And Samurai gets his Ice Palace Big Key from Saha, which we know pretty much turns into 20 rupees. So had a fun item, but unfortunately wasn't required. And Ace is giving us a little bit more knowledge. Town ahead of Wulfy, having gotten there first. Let's see, what is left side here? So far, there really hasn't been much of value. It needs to be done.
Oh, there was the book and the masters, or in the big chest there.
Speaking of pedestal checks and needing the book, there's the book.
It's like the seed knew we were talking about the book.
Yep. And Wulfy is putting the boots to extremely good use, tearing through Thieves' Town. I would say it's definitely the dungeon you want boots above all others. Kind of curious how this impacts their routing at this point, now that they have that. Because Pod is clearable on Wulfy's side. He has all the keys, so he doesn't need to worry about doing anything too crazy to save keys. Skullwood's clearable for him. He hasn't done. He's about to finish Thieves' Town. Ace takes out Blind and gets... Hey, our fourth sword is on Blind. So Wulfy's walking out of this fight with the Butter Sword.
Good. Very good execution.
Oh, yeah. Blind is a fun boss. Its pattern is predetermined every time you bring Blind into the room. As long as you don't die once, you can pretty much... Oh, missed that swing there. Pretty much rip through the boss without giving it a chance. So Ace is headed up into Woods. You've cleared Skullwoods. And... Yep, we're going to get a pedestal check out of Ace.
He can just pull it.
Nope. Going to be seeing what is hiding at the pedestal this seed. It is maxing out. It's Quake. Quake is on the pedestal, not required.
Oh boy.
Maxing out the Richter scale is what I do. In chat, Triple Factorial is asking, the cutoff for the tournament is indeed 2 losses. If you lose 2 matches, yes, you are out of the 8-person bracket. But most people will continue on with their matches through all 5 weeks. There may be a few that do withdraw after 2 losses, but I imagine they will be the small minority. And Lord Sicarius, no, Quake has been ruled out, so the pedestal is dead. Fun item on it, but it's not required. And Wulfy has torn through Skullwoods like it's wet paper. It is starting to look like, unless the Pyramid Fairy pays out. No, never mind. Pyramid Fairy is locked. It looks like Turtle Rock will be a required dive. But it can't be.
No, because we still are missing Samaria. I mean, it's possible that Samaria is actually in Misery Mire.
It's either in Mire. I'm trying to think of locations that we've not seen between runners now. Misery Mire. There is also Helmasaur, the big chest in Pod. I believe we have seen everything else at this point in terms of what is open.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Samurai is being very aggressive against Mothula, but unfortunately every time you hit them into a spike, it takes no damage. But Moth finally goes down for him.
Ooh, it's also possible it could be on the tablets. Or a catfish.
Has no one gone over to Catfish yet? Few locations, but very few left at this point for runners. Yep, and Wolfie is just going to keep clearing out dungeons as he heads to Pod. So that will leave him with just Mire and T left to go. As Ace heads inside for the first time, with only 2 small keys though. There are 2 within this dungeon, which means he has 4 of the 6. He'll be able to check items, but he's going to have to be really careful if he wants to go to Helm. Samurai gets his red tunic. There's 1 key use. Actually, Wolfie, I believe, has found 5 of the 6 small keys. He's probably going to go and do the hammer jump again, mirror out, and then head to Helmasaur.
I hope for the runner's sake that Helmasaur has something. Or the big chest.
Well, right now, by logic, the big chest is what we're looking at. In terms, unless something is hiding in Mire, the big chest is really the only thing that can hold a key thing by logic. GT small key. So, useful to have those, but they'd rather see the big key. You need at least 1 small key and the big key wherever you enter GT if you want to climb straight away. Actually, no, you don't even need the small key because you can go down into the basement to get 1 there. So, disregard. So let's see here. Samurai is doing the Smith, Ace is doing his pod check, and Wolfie is heading to Helmasaur, having cleared the dungeon of all items.
Let's see how our Helmasaur King matches up against this Butter Sword.
Oh, it'll be a joke. There won't even... And I always love this room right here, the Wolfie's in with 6 turtles. Fantastic room.
I hate that room.
If you have the tools, it's great. If you don't have, if you only have a hammer and like it's a little bit more challenging. Ace is about to find 2 small keys to Pod.
Samurai taking the chest on a world tour.
Yep, if I recall correctly, the chest
feel
But
like it
there
was
we go.
bombs.
Yeah, there is Ace's 2 keys as Wolfie finishes off Helmets. Get 20 rupees.
Mwah, mwah.
So either one of the tablets or Misery Mire will have the Kana Samaria with the Ganon Tower key still outstanding.
And Catfish, correct? I haven't seen Catfish yet.
It could be Catfish, yes. I thought someone had gone up there, but I don't think Samurai had the mirror whenever he went up and did Zora instead.
Have we seen Bumper Cave Ledge?
I'm not positive about Bumper Cave Ledge, to be honest. Our runners have all been to Skull Woods. They've all been, to the Graveyard Ledge. There we go. Ace gets his small key to GT out the big chest and mirrors out. Pieces out. As Wolfie cracks open Mire. So it looks like he's not going to bother with Tablet. Dive into the dungeon and hope to find Samara there. As Samurai heads north to Zora Waterfall. Or he may be thinking, that key that's on the ledge. He hasn't gotten that one yet. So, for Wolfie, there are 8 items inside of mine, 7 of which are accessible. So, let's see what he finds. There's Kane, first chest. Wow.
Good lucky find.
So, we just need to see the Ganon's Tower big key, and the seed is fully completable.
Now, this is a tricky situation because do they go through some of the overworld in the hopes of finding it, or do they just go into Ganon's Tower in the hopes that there is one of those 20 chests?
Well, statistically speaking, Wolfie has cleared everything but Turtle Rock. He will fully clear Mire. He has left 1 item in Swamp Palace, and he has fully checked all the item locations in the rest of the dungeons that I am aware of. Overworld-wise, he has the tablet, potentially Catfish, and then Turtle Rock and GT. So, statistically, Ganon's Tower full clear is a safer play item density-wise in terms of where to go first, if it's not in here in these last 6 items. So, I mean, it could be, Ice Rod is inside Ice, and Trinex holds the big key to GT. Possibility, it's slim, but it is a chance.
Yeah, you never really know with these seeds.
You go in expecting pain and hope for the best. But so far, his item checks are not really turning out very well. Although he has missed an... that's right, he needs to go left and check. You're forgetting an item, Wolfie. Your counter's even telling you. You haven't checked the bridge yet. He's going to realize this real quick because he's going to pass by the chest. Right there. Oh, okay. That's a nice way to do it. Comes to Desert Palace.
That was very smart. I would never have thought of doing that.
I agree. I've done 150-ish rando seeds, and I've never even once thought of doing it that way. That is a nifty trick there. B, we have another question of what is Keysanity? Would you like to give Chad a refresh?
Absolutely. So Keysanity is the randomization of all of the items, maps, keys, big keys encompasses everything in the whole game. Everything's all shuffled up. So you're gonna be finding random items in random locations. So what that means for our runners is that they might not necessarily get the same items that they would get if they were playing this game normally. So you might see someone say get the hammer and the glove right away, so that might send them on a completely different path to start out, as opposed to what you would normally do to go through the game, say going to Eastern Palace first. So it's really, really great for people that have played this game for such a long time, because the combinations are endless. You can find yourself playing a completely different game just from every item being completely randomized.
Hey, look, there's a nice reflective shield to stare at on Wolf's screen. So GT Big
Riot.
Key is still in the air.
Oh boy.
That is Wolfie's 7th and final crystal. So he has 22 locations inside of Mire. He has 12, I believe it is, inside of 12 or 14. He has 2 tablets and maybe catfish for where the big key can be. But that's right. He's going to check the Pyramid Fairy first.
Ooh, yes. Smart move.
In Math Girl, the silvers were on at Lake Hylia. He's also checking a tablet as well. I don't blame him. He probably wants these checks out of the way that are quick before going up to GT, because it could be the biggest time loss if one is located. Nope, just bombs at Bombos. Blowing things up instead of setting them on fire.
It's close enough.
I'll take it. So, Ace and Samurai, meanwhile, are still clearing, looking for a few things. They are working their way along. Samurai really needs to get back to the castle and check the sewers chest for the flute. Whereas Ace is methodically just clearing at this point, it looks like. I believe Ice Palace is one of the next plays that he needs to make at some point, since it does have some useful keys within. Although he can also do Pod, Eastern, and Desert. Oh, Wolfie's going back for the chest that we need. Wolfie does not want to leave any place before GT unchecked, apparently.
Yeah, it's definitely a safe move.
Yep. Unfortunately, at the revisit, he's going to waste about a minute. But overall, that's not too terrible to get that weight from the back of his mind away.
Yeah, you want to play it safe in a tournament.
Yeah, Keysanity doesn't really allow for gambles to the same degree others might. And there's his compass for Swamp Palace. Hey, look, 10 out of 10. He's got it all.
So is it going to be Pyramid Fairy next for Wolfie?
Yep, I imagine you'll do Pyramid Fairy, and if he has Catfish, you'll probably clear out Catfish prior to heading up the mountain, which means, worst case scenario, if the key is not inside of the tower, he literally just needs to exit and goes 2 screens over to the right for TR. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, Samurai's making his play into ice now. With without the flute, desert is still closed off to him. The mire area is still closed off to him. Can't really do all that much.
Yep.
So, Wolfie, is this going to be your key? We'll find out. Oh, there's a small key to the desert small key. Big key to Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock is completable, minus Ice Rod. And that is 2 items in desert now that he can go back and check if he really wants to be that methodical.
He's gonna check Akadon's tower.
Yep, he has the 1 castle tower key, which gives him access to 2 items. It would be very interesting.
Yeah, that'd be entertaining.
So without a second castle tower key, he cannot clear to do the ledge one. Not that he truly needs the small key there. So we know the first chest was only the piece of heart. And he is making quick progress here to get another small key to Turtle Rock. That is the 3rd small key to TR?
Yeah.
In the 4?
Yep. Turtle Rock might be needed. Looks like he's gonna go check his small key to desert now.
Yep. He doesn't. I'm fairly certain the way it's playing out, if Ganon's tower comes up empty, he does not want to have to go into or leave Death Mountain. So he's going to be checking everything outside at this point for GT.
Yeah, good move on his part. Meanwhile, Samurai just checked Ice Palace Big Chest, and Ace is about to face off against Helmastar King.
There's the compass of TR. Another strikeout for Wolfie.
And bombs. Or blueberries, whatever you want to call them.
So, what is left? Quake, as you've said, or Quakefish, Catfish. And then it's all Death Mountain locations, I believe. Though he's doing a quick... Nope, he's got a Death Mountain.
I'm going to assume that there was nothing of interest on the Bumper Cave ledge. Otherwise, they would have grabbed it.
Yeah, that is a safe assumption to make. So Wolfie may be heading over to crack open Ganon's tower at this point in time. This is the worst feeling in the world, though. You have all your items, you have the keys, except that one crucial one to get you through the last bit. And at this point in time, it's pretty much become a dungeons run side up and finishing off Agawam. So here we see Ace on Helmasaur after having checked all the items inside of the dungeon, so he is quite in there. Spin up the jukes from Helma. There you go. Two shots to land a hit.
Yeah, good game there.
So, as we saw earlier, Wolfie opened Rock 20-25 minutes into the seed or so. So, GT is a smart play. He has 22 item locations. And for laughter, and just because we can't since the key's not there, if the key's inside a GT, you can go ahead and guess. You may be wrong entirely, but you're welcome to.
You can also guess 0 if you don't think it's in Ganon's tower at all.
Yep, there are 22 item locations in. There is Ether Medallion, which may invalidate this whole thing, which would be hilarious.
Oh,
nope, it's another compass. So Wolfie is down to 22 item locations inside of Ganon's tower, and he has access to 13 of the 14 items inside the Turtle Rock. And he has pretty much cleared the game beyond that. So we're going to see some standard vanilla randomizer. As I say, vanilla and randomizer in the same sentence. See some standard randomizer clearing of Ganon's.
Vanilla with sprinkles.
Yep, Wolfie's item count is currently around the high 160s, I believe. So.
And Samurai just picked up Flute. So
Excellent.
Samurai is on to the next phase of going into the desert area.
Yeah, that Flute is real huge, and he's probably feeling kind of that because he's had access to that area so long now. Hey, look, a vanilla small key for GT, giving him, a nice healthy count of 4. Nope, that's 7 out of 22. Bust.
Let's take a moment of silence for our Swag Duck anthem.
As Wolfie has now checked 8 locations in GT and come up nothing. I'm waiting for him to find the ice rock. I'm just saying.
For Ganon's tower to be, or for Trinex to be carrying the key that he's missing.
Yep, there's the red rank, and that is the 9th location. Strikeout. Yep, 9th location. Randomizer room up for Wolfie as Samurai is heading into the Mire area. And Ace is checking the vanilla big key location. There's half magic. There's another Ice Palace small key, and there's a container. 13 of 22 locations now down. There's Samurai picking up a crucial pod key. I do like this with the powder. A lot of players try to burst it and just lose so much magic and health. And it's even worse whenever they bomb the ground there in advance and then fall without getting that chest.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So we're coming up to the Ice Armos. And just like that... Oh, no, never mind. He got hit there. I was about to say the Ice Armos were dead, but...
Yeah, almost on ice. Definitely tricky.
$15, nothing. $16, nothing. $17, nothing. And still no Ice Rod. It really is bugging me that I'm not 100% positive if he's checked yet. And smartly so, going to the 4 chests on he even considers tile. Getting beat around a bit, but luckily the torches have a very nice juke there. Nope, Samurai's out of magic on Land Mollis. He's on to a second cycle of it.
Oh,
there's
so the Ice Rod.
Ice Rod, the Turtle Rock Dream.
Yes, the Turtle Rock Dream lives.
He's probably going to grab this key here before he does Tile Room. That is 21 of 22 locations within Ganon's tower. No big key. You know Wolfie's got to be groaning right about now, hoping. You normally don't hope for Tile Room, but you know he's got to be hoping for Tile Room about now. So a fun little room here. You got the tiles. You have the fire spitters on Sword Strike. And you have the hand, whose name I don't remember, trying to grab.
Wall Master.
Master, yeah. So simple, so annoying.
Okay, so Ace might be taking a dip into Turtle Rock.
It would definitely be interesting to dip in now. Are you? Ace is going into TR.
Yep. And Wolfie... Yep, Wolfie's gonna go into Turtle Rock.
Yep. I mean, Ace is only one crystal short. He's able to complete Mire. Or did he just complete Mire? I think so, yes. What crystal has he not completed yet? Yep, Ganon's tower was a bust. Big Key is inside of Turtle Rock, it appears. The question is, how far in? Yeah, the 21 on his item thing, because torch item was not collected. So while he has knowledge of the 22nd item, the compass only counts what you've picked up. So we see on the right side, there's the Harrismall key. The basement of Hera is an option.
Oh boy, wouldn't that be great?
Oh yeah, Wolfie is, I'm sure, ready to find this key and get done.
Yes, I would
Samurai.
be too.
Samurai is putting a medallion to use since Inshiruma are there. Just blow them all up. What a seed.
Indeed, yeah. This is very close to being a 100% completion seed.
Yep. And even with this being so close to 100% required, we're only at 152. It has been a quick 100% type of seed.
I think it's because most of the world was opened up to them right away.
Yep. Nice mirror out of that room. On Wolfie's end. Meanwhile, Ace is headed towards what is the vanilla big key chest. As Samurai is quickly clearing out Mire, opting to do the normal-ish rando route rather than going full left. So at this point in time, there's not much left for. We know where Quake is. He won't be picking that item up. The mushroom has not been found, so that's the only fetch quest we have yet to see. It's getting a little bit trolled. There you go. Nope, bombs there. But there's not a whole lot left, and he picked up most of the items he came across. Thieves Town Big Key was. Thieves Town Big Key, was that Landmolds or Waterfall?
I want to say, I can't remember, but I don't think it was Waterfall.
Wolfie applied a bit of fire to the situation there. Doesn't waste any time. Oh, Desert Palace Torch. Thank you for that. Hey, look, there's the 6 pod key inside a Turtle. By logic, pod was required to clear, or Turtle Rock was required to clear pod. Yep, we're seeing a Mimic Cave on Ace's screen.
Bottle of blue potion. Yeah, not too bad, actually. That could be helpful.
Yep. What a seed. Because not only is Turtle Rock forced, it is opening up other locations that were previously closed by. There's not many. So And meanwhile, Samurai just needs to check the big chest and the small chest immediately after it, and he is off to Vitreous afterwards. So, it looks like Ace is starting to look around for the big key, though for some reason Ace is missing one crystal, I believe, according to his menu. I'm not positive which. Tracker says desert. So Wulfy is working his way there. Unfortunately, Ace had to dip out of Turtle due to a lack of key count. Oh, there's the mushroom.
Yeah, that was bound to be found.
Yep. There are only 5 chests in the game that are not reachable without the Ganon's Tower big key. So, yeah. What a... Still got clipped there. No, another small key. GT. Nice little dash bonk there. And Ace realizes that the tower is a strikeout as well. So it's just Laser Bridge and Trinex left for Wulfy. And then you have the Hera basement. You have the mushroom. And I'm fairly certain he does not want to have to leave the mountain if he can get away.
Yeah, so he'll probably try Hera basement first before going to the witch, if that's the case.
Even sitting through the basement, it's far quicker to do that than leave the mountain with the flute and have to climb all the way back up. Nope, 1 of 4 items on the bridge is just bust. Bombs on the bridge.
Oh, there it
big
is.
Key. A GT big key, laser bridge.
He is in go mode.
That was the 3rd item on laser bridge, which means there were only 2 items left in Turtle, 1 item left in Hera. The mushroom turn in at the witch, and 5 items in GT, and the pedestal. His item count will be a 190 something. So, and I'm sure Ace is going to kick himself in the rear whenever he does eventually go back into Turtle Rock, not having the keys when he did, and finding the GT big key there. Lazy Gem Silvers were located on, and TR big key was inside of GT.
Yeah.
So,
and so is the ice rod.
I don't believe Logic had a double dip of GT, since ice rod was not required. So we have, looks like Samurai's headed off to polish off Thieves Town. Wulfy begins his climb at 157.45. And Ace is inside of ice and will pick up a few required keys from here that he wished he probably had earlier. Though, what is he missing to finish at this point besides the GT key? That's right, the TR Big Key was inside Pyramid Fairy?
I'm just going to keep saying yeah. My brain.
Yeah, trying to keep track of where everything is definitely a challenge. More so when the keys, maps, and compasses and big keys are outside of the dimensions. So, good first room of the gauntlet for Wulfy as he heads into the skeleton room. Personally, I find this room to be the most annoying due to how the skeletons act. But hey. There's another room down for Wulfy. Samurai's making quick work of the back half here. Oh, right. Ace has not cleared Mire. He's cleared Desert, but not. Since he just got the big key from him. So Ace is headed right to Mire to finish it off. And then it'll become a game again of where is GT big key for him. So meanwhile, Samurai is getting close to finishing off his 6th crystal, with Pod being crystal 7.
So as Wolfie heads up the rest of Ganon's tower, I will take a moment to thank all the runners for giving us this wonderful seed today and wonderful viewing pleasure. And thank you so much to our 2 trackers as well behind the scenes, because tracking is definitely a difficult job.
Oh yeah. Doubly so for Keysanity with all those keys. Not a trifling task.
So thank you to Moofle and Drone and Cine. I don't think I'm saying your names right. I'm really sorry.
And Wolfie didn't bother checking any of the few chests behind the big key. Just wanting to be done with it. So
I don't blame him.
He's missing 2 containers. He has every item except Quake, which we know is the pedestal. I believe he did not get 1 bottle. Nice double to start. He's pretty much exhausted everything here. Ooh, missed those. There we go. Aga drops. There we go. Samurai finds out what the pedestal is. And it is Quake. Lovely reference to the Richter scale.
And now Wolfie faces off with the butter sword, Ganon.
He doesn't even have, full health, but 11.5 hearts, red mail, butter sword, silvers, half magic, blue potion. Most people could probably, after a bit, do this almost in their sleep, so to speak.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of armor.
Yep. Ace picks up his 7th and final crystal. Now he has to find 1 more key to Turtle Rock to be able to get to Laser Bridge. And check the Pyramid Ferry as well. So he still has a bit of the world to check dungeon-wise, because he has not gone back to Eastern. He did not clear all the ice. He immediately left once he found the Mire big key. But he has been inside a TR. So he may go straight to the GT gamble. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Now, I believe the key that he's looking for, or one of them anyway, is actually in Ganon's tower. So this is a good gamble for him to be making.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how he interprets that. There were quite a few items inside GT that kind of led elsewhere. There we go. Wolfie is done. Congratulations to him. He has an official SRL time of, let's see, whenever he enters the room here, 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 22 seconds.
Awesome, awesome.
Yep. And unfortunately, early on, some technical difficulties with his computer, and forfeited due to losing his progress on the seed. But congratulations to both. More rounds to come ahead, and we will give it a moment or two here to see if we'll like to come in and talk seed.
Question in chat asking what makes Aghanim required. There is a ledge up in the northern part of the map that can only be retrieved after the lumberjacks have stopped trying to saw open this one tree, and they stop sawing as soon as you've killed Aghanim.
Yep, in rare cases, Aghanim can. However, you do not know that and checked potential locations and don't have access to the Dark World yet.
And the other thing as well, there's another question asking about the race, the way the race is working. The two top players are facing off against each other, and the two bottom players are facing off against each other. So Wulfy has finished in first against xirtanul, and we're not quite sure yet between Samurai and Ace who's going to win.
Okay, and we're now joined by Wulfy. Congratulations. Anything you'd like to say about that seed there?
You know, I don't appreciate having to full clear the world looking for a GT big key. And what was otherwise a pretty good seed.
That's kind of what we figured. It was actually very friendly for a % seed. I believe the final tally came up to the 5 items in GT you walked past climbing it. The 2 you left inside the Turtle Rock, 1 in Hera. We weren't certain if you'd ever gotten around to checking Catfish or not. And then the Mushroom.
I think I did check Catfish.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Catfish had a piece of heart, if I recall correctly.
Gotcha.
I checked that on the way to check Zora.
Okay. And it looks like right now Ace is doing the same, right? Or checking GT first and realized because I have nothing. And unfortunately, he had already been inside the lock, but used the second small key to check the big chest, and he did not have the big key either. So.
Yeah, it was fun getting Dark World access so early.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not, because you're not really sure where to go with the world being open.
That plus early mirror did allow for some pretty efficient overworld routing, though.
And
at least if you went into Skull Woods for the mirror early.
Yeah. Did you enjoy having so much all the time until near the very end?
You cut out for a bit there. Having so much what?
Having so much of the game available routing.
Yeah, it was pretty good. This seed allowed you to avoid double dipping things more than most Keysanity seeds do.
Yeah, sometimes you see even triple dips.
Yeah, it was definitely fun for viewing because there were. I don't think there was really any. We had any of y'all in the same spot doing the same thing after pretty much 3 minutes in. See, it looks like Ace and Samurai both are now hunting for the big key at this point. So whoever gets past Laser Bridge first. Oh, Samurai has a slight advantage with the Turtle Rock. Big key, though. So this may put him ahead, depending on where he goes next.
You know, when the GT big key didn't show up in GT, I was kind of hoping for it to show up at Trinex, because it did give us the Ice Rod in GT.
Yeah,
So
we
were
were
we.
definitely wondering that.
It would have been the most fun option.
Because it was almost an all dungeons required seed, pretty much, in terms of actually clearing them. So, how did you like Saha holding a big key?
I forget which one it was now.
It was one of the useless ones, but
Oh, okay.
it was quite amusing to see. Plus, you had keys at the Ledge Lumberjack Cave. You had Zora with the key.
Yeah. Luckily, I was able to figure out that the key at Lumberjack wasn't required for anything. Although I don't think I ever got the second Aghanim Tower key anyway.
Nope, and there were only a few spots where it could have been hiding at, too. So, we're about to be able to see what your item count. I'm thinking it's like...
Ace is finishing up the tile room, probably about to be a little disappointed. And Samurai is going into Turtle Rock. Let's see how far he can get. And it looks like he's got 3 of the keys to Turtle Rock.
Yep, he has the keys to get him to Laser Bridge, so he will come up so long as he fully commits with the big key, which means even if Ace goes straight to the Pyramid Ferry, he will unfortunately most likely be falling behind. So that, yeah. I will say you also came up with more swords earlier, Wolfie, than the others. There we go. Well, 197 of 216. Wow.
Oh, good times. Not quite 200, though.
But a very impressive time considering. So, looks like we'll get to see... I thought he was about to do hair basement there. He may still be.
He
I
is.
don't know. Okay. I guess he was just moving his portal. Unfortunately, without that big key for GT, Ace is in a very poor spot compared to Samurai now. Whoops, he went right by it there. Now, Thalfon, even if Ace goes to Pyramid Ferry after checking the basement since he's committing ready, Samurai will have at least a 3.5 minute lead. And that's only going to grow with every second Ace puts off that. And even once he finds the big key, it's not a guarantee.
That just is a really perfect example that you could be way ahead for so long, and then one item, you just cannot find it, and it really makes things close at the very end.
Yep. And
Castle Tower, small key.
There's the other key, speaking of. And though he just dipped out, want to say congratulations again, Feet. Really well played for what the seed was. Not too far off the sub 2 hour mark for a seed that was pretty much 100%. So, GG. Thanks for the fantastic run. So, meanwhile, Samurai is inching ever closer to that big key. He has the small key left to get him to Laser Bridge. And then that is pretty much... He has the door slammed shut on Ace. I don't believe he has the big key. He has more small keys. But without the big key, you can't get past the big chest. There is a actual door blocking off the back half of Turtle Rock. That is big key required.
Yeah, and it looks like Samurai missed out on getting those silver arrows.
Ooh, I believe he got the knowledge.
Yeah, he would have.
Interesting decision. And his arrow count is remarkably low as well, at only 6. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. Wherever you go to do the climb, you need those arrows. No, Ace. You should have gone right, and then you could have realized big key instead of taking this way around. Actually, yeah, you can go right then. And there it is, the realization.
Ace forgot.
There it is, yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is this race. Pretty much, the door just slammed shut in Ace's face. Even if he finds his way to the Pyramid Ferry, the time gulf is quite large. Although it looks like he's immediately going to that location.
Yep, gonna get that big key. So there's a question in chat about the game that we're playing. Because it's randomizer, we are able to. They adjusted the people that adjusted everything in the game adjusted the rupee count, so it's over 9,000 now, or 900 now, and also we're able to pick whatever sprite we want as well.
Yeah, the rupee count is 99. Just there's zero reason to grind out rupees to hit that point at any time.
So it is actually over 9,000.
Yep. And Samurai is coming out this way. Oh, he's going to mirror and finish and do a reclimb of Death Mountain here rather than backtracking or any other back. So Samurai will be able to do his GT climb with the advantage of having not checked any of the bottom of GT. So an Ace, there's the TR, that's the Desert Palace small key, and there's the TR big key. And that's what he needed. Go back to TR, please. Nope, he's going to probably go check out Desert first.
So Samurai is going to be going into Ganon's Tower now. And he just needs to go all the way up.
Interesting use of the boomerang there. Then again, his arrow count's low. He does sword beams. It makes a lot of sense. And you have that blue potion. Are you going to have to blow it early? No. Nice use there.
It's always helpful to have the powder to turn the anti-fairies back into fairies.
Yeah, that powder is such a wonderful safety item. Samurai having a little bit of difficulty setting these mimics up, but gets through it well enough. And luckily for him, there is one pot with arrows right there for him. And he'll be able to pick up a few more along the way, but his decision to not pick up silvers will leave him to have to do silverless scanning.
That could be tough. But he does have a lot of mail and the butter sword.
I would not be surprised to see Samurai make a pit stop in the ferry, also pick up magic while he's there. Or he will prove me wrong. And I guess blow the blue potion here. Without half magic, he's going to be careful with his silverless scanning, but using the lamp should give him plenty of breathing room.
We've got Ace checking Catfish, just making sure that he hasn't missed anything in the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, we know where it is, and he may not return there anytime soon. And Samurai, unfortunately, having to use that blue potion right there. So which direction you headed, Ace? Back to Death Mountain. Smartly not using any magic there due to lack of half magic. And Butter Sword is 2 slashes, spins away. It's there we go.
That's amazing, yeah.
Yep, so Ace will get his 2.5 minutes. And around that time, Samurai should be finished up with Agate 2 or so. Imagine. Clean finish of the Pittsburgh room. No, and in chat, at this point in time, it feels like a hell of a lot to Ganon fall lead. Samurai is currently 5 or 6 rooms away from Agate 2. Ace has to go through approximately 2 minutes or so of T-Rock. The only upside is since he's cleared up to the big door, he will only be checking an additional 1 item along the way to Laser Bridge. So. And while Silverless is risky, it is not enough to make up the time. But we'll see how it plays out. It's not done until they got done.
Exactly.
Nah, and Samurai knows where Silver's are, but I don't see him detouring at this point. Yep, Samurai could pit stop to pick up the silvers on Hylia Island, be about a 30-second or so, maybe 40. But like Elminster just said, if he wanted him, he would have them. And considering the fact they know Wulfy.Dund approximately, let's see here, approximately 20 minutes ago, they have to be nervous knowing that if Wulfy was able to do it in that time frame, so could their opponent be nearing the end. He's having some issues with Agate 2 there. Look. That's a good hit.
And there he goes down.
Yep. Took a bit of beating to get Agate 2 down.
We got Ace with just a couple more rooms, and he'll be all caught up, getting ready to climb Ganon's tower as well.
Yep. Interesting route. I think he accidentally went the wrong way here and was punished by the fire bar for it.
And today Gannon is asking about burritos. What kind of burrito would you be?
Yep, spicy barbecue burrito. A little bit on the more side, but hey. He is a pig, so, you know. Oh yeah, Samurai.
To clarify what .dead means, it's the backend IRC command that people have to press in order to say that they've finished and log the time that has taken place in their run.
Yeah, I probably should have said it's not over until they walk into the first ring. There we go. He gets the torch glitch, which is kind of crucial to doing silverless. He's already 2 hits the 12 in. Oh yeah, he is confident in the silverless. He's not quite lining up the 3 per hit, but ooh, can't take another hit like that though. There you go. There's your 3 hits per torch. But he's just a few swings away.
As long as he doesn't hug Ganon.
Yeah. Hugging the giant pig is bad. And I believe he has 1 left now.
Yep.
Yep, there it is. Samura1man puts
Just
down
don't
the pig.
fall off.
Yep. Usually more a case with people who decide to dash at the end. Yep. Definitely amusing, but also sad when someone walks off the edge.
Very sad, yes.
Yep. And Samurai's official SRL time was 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 46 seconds. GG to Samura1man.
Awesome. Thanks for this awesome run, everybody. Go ahead and follow the links I put in there to see what all our runners does, aside from the tournament that we have going on now. Meanwhile, Ace is heading up the gauntlet.
Okay, and Samurai. Hello, Samurai.
Hi there, Samurai.
So, how did you feel about the seed?
It was an interesting start, I have to say.
How so?
Getting early access to Darkfeld.
Yeah, it really opened up quite a bit, didn't it?
Now, if I recall, you did not immediately go to Kakariko. You went South Shore first after an initial check, I think it was.
Something like that. I recall starting with Kakariko. Then from there I started to go to Eastern, I think. Then South.
That's right. It was South Shore that got put off. Because of how the items were early game, within 3 to 5 minutes, all of y'all had split off in completely different directions. It was fantastic to watch. I'm sure fun to track, though.
Yep. I'll be doing some tracking later on this evening.
Oh yeah, when I got hammer and gloves, I was like, oh, maybe I should check Darkfeld immediately. I wonder that's special, I guess.
But with only 3 hearts, that's a tricky one.
Yeah, it's really risky in Darkfeld, so I didn't end up checking that much, other than Thief's Stone.
Yeah, we weren't certain if you were even going to go in. It's definitely a very ballsy play. I don't remember if it paid off really for you at all that early, but there were definitely some big items available in that dark off the bat.
I recall getting some small keys in a dark world, but I really left it fast when I ended up to getting a lantern in Pyramid.
Yeah. How did you like the boot location?
Oh boy. I think it was the last possible item I would have been able to check.
It sounds about right because the boots locked off the flippers as well as Titan's mints.
Yeah, it opened up everything. It opened everything when I got the boots. Flippers, Titans. What else?
The flippers and Titans definitely, plus the fire rod was inside a swamp, so it was locked it.
Yeah.
So, how'd you like the location of the GT Big Key?
At that point when I was like, alright, should I go to Cannon's Tower first or Turtle Rock? I had to choose between, so I chose Turtle Rock. It was an interesting location, I have to say, all the way to end of the Turtle Rock.
Here's the fun bit of information. Ice Rod was inside of Ganon's tower. Both Wulfy and Ace went into Ganon's tower first.
I assume it won't be there as it was a abandoned dungeon.
So, his item count was 197 of 216 because he full cleared all of the bottom of GT. So, still, almost 100% seed. The play to Turtle Rock definitely played out in your favor.
Yeah. When I got the book, I was like, I have to check pedestal. There shouldn't be anything special, hopefully. Then it was Quack.
Yeah, we had a good laugh at that one. Luckily, Meyer and TR were both almost this seed. So, here we go. Ace is now entering Aga 2. So he's nearing the end himself. I'm assuming you were comfortable enough with Silverless you didn't feel like going out of your way at that point to pick them up off the island?
When I left our Dark World, I remember it was there, but I was comfortable at skipping it as I've done Tempered Sport only. Then I found Padre and it just made it to fight much easier.
That's what we figured, you just decided not to pick them up.
Yeah, that was definitely a good Ganon kill without silvers.
Yeah, very confident Silverless.
Luckily I had also a blue potion as a backup, so I would have used that if I got any damage.
Yeah, and Ace got about as beat up by Aga 2 as you did, as he heads on to Ganon. It was definitely a fun seed. It was a slightly friendlier Keysanity seed than others I've seen and ran, but the 100% check just about seems to be a common theme with Keysanity.
I mean, we say it was a fun seed to watch, but was it a fun seed to play, Samurai?
Well, for my first Keysanity seed, it was fun.
This was your very first time playing Keysanity?
Yeah.
Wow, good job.
At one point I was thinking to try it out before the tournament, then I was like, maybe we'll just go by blind and see how it goes.
Well, Blind 1 got you the first round win, and I recall your name both, I believe, NMG and with regular randomizers as well. So, I mean, you're definitely very familiar with everything else about it.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the former original randomizer kind of bit.
Well, again, congratulations. Anything else you'd like to say?
I have nothing in mind.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to hang around if you'd like. Ace is going into the Ganon here. Ooh, almost got hit.
Yeah, just the final couple of arrow shots, and you'll be good gamed as well.
Oh, what was behind the mushroom? I didn't
No
check.
clue.
Oh,
Mushroom was no one checked it because they found the GT big key, and it was the final item required.
as I expected.
So we saw the location of every item besides the mushroom turn-in, the 4th chest on Laser Bridge behind Trinex, and the 5 items in the top of GT.
Alright.
Every other item was checked, I want to say. And there we go. Ace has completed his run with a 2:35:01. Congratulations to him. We'll see if you'd like to hop in.
Good finish to everybody.
Most definitely. And let's see. Ace will be joining us. Let's see here quick. Okay, we don't have too long. Airing another match here in approximately 10 minutes of Christos Owen and a Yume Tsubasa CH. So shortly here, we'll be handing things to Sakura and Willard to commentate for you. Actually, it's a doubleheader. It's Christos and Yume, as well as Reverb and Beatil CX. So let's see.
So don't go anywhere. Stay right here, and we'll have another seed.
More randomizers.
Yep. And so we should have Ace. Congratulations to all of our runners. Thank you to the trackers as well. Let me make sure I say these names correctly. Sinhei and Muvelendrone. And here is AceZero. Congratulations on finishing the seed. What you think of it?
Thank you. It wasn't too bad. That Cannon's Tower key was driving me crazy at the end there, though.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest deciding factor in that race, the two of you were both relatively close throughout. However, Samurai, when he went into Turtle Rock for the first and only time, he had the big key. So I believe you only had the 2 small keys still, but that right there was part of the deciding factor. Maybe not the deciding, but
Yeah, I was on the fence about whether I should go into Ice Palace first. And I was like, well, I'd like to try to avoid that if I can. I'd like to avoid Turtle Rock if I can, but gotta pick one. I'm just glad the G Tower big key wasn't in Ice Palace, since I left immediately getting that Misery Mire big key, and I would have been kicking myself if it was there on Cold Stare and that last chest.
I actually double dipped lots of dungeons. Ice Palace and Darkness, for example.
Yeah, you wanted to be sure that you didn't miss anything, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I figured at that point I was probably behind a little bit, and I wanted to just take a gamble just to try to catch up.
I was thinking I was behind the whole time.
yeah, the late boots on your end, Samurai, had us all thinking that you probably felt like you were because they locked so many things. Both of y'all played quite well considering it was pretty much a full clear of the seed. I believe, Ace, you got away without finishing off Eastern or finishing the full dive in the race, but even then it was still quite a lot of content.
Yeah, the times that everybody completed in the 2 hours, between 2 hours and 2.5 hours is great considering it was almost a 100% completion. Do you have any final thoughts, Ace or Samurai?
Not really. Good job, Samurai, on the win. I'll try to do better in the next round.
Yeah,
GG's,
good luck
AceZer.
in your next matches, everybody.
Good luck to you too.
Thank you. And thank you guys for the commentary and the restream, and of course the trackers to make it fun for people to watch.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. With that being said, then, we will be signing ourselves off, but don't go anywhere because, again, we will be seeing another race getting ready to be set up shortly. All right, so thanks, everyone, and we will be talking to you again soon.
Yep, that was B-Links. I have been Space Cowboy 2011, and to reiterate, you gotta watch wulfy83, xirtanul, AceZer0187, and Samura1man. And on the trackers, we had Sinhei and Muvelindrome, and we'll be hopping off here. The matches upcoming in the next 5 or 10 minutes will be commentated by Sakura and Willard. There will be Chrysis Owen versus Yume Tsubasa, and Reverb versus Batil CX. Until next time, take it easy, enjoy the next race.